here we go. It's lights out, and we're off. Celtic Flyer gets a good start. Bella close alongside of him. And it looks like Celtic Flyer is going to want to get in real tight on turn one. He does. He goes well to the outside, but he makes a really nice cut in and gets a good jump. That puts Bella behind Craig. Craig positions himself just alongside the rear quarter. Oh, makes a nice move over. It looks like Bella's looking for a way in. Oh, and just looks like it didn't look like he got into anybody, but it looks like he just sort of overcorrected his steering a little bit and spun. So it looks like we got Craig and Celtic Flyer side by side, giving each other good space, mostly. We're going to try to go into this next turn 2x2. It looks like it's a very difficult turn to go in close. So Craig thinks better of it, stays behind. And both Craig and Flyer get through safely, followed by Newbro. Got a nice tight pack up at the front. The top four positions playing it very close. Let's see what's going on in the back. Looks like we have a real good thing going here in the rear of the pack. Always a race within a race. Bella and Fire Woodman are side by side, and he spins. I don't know if he got into the back, but it just turned into a rodeo. A rodeo clown show. That looks like everybody's back pointed forward and off their appointed direction. Back to the front, we still have a good close race. This time we have a top 6. It looks like everybody's within about 1.5 to 2 seconds of each other. Nice and tidy. Nice neat little straight lines. Somehow Newberg's picked up a 0.5 of a second penalty, which is a very easy thing to do here. The line enforcement is very strict at this track. One of the most annoying things about driving on it, if you ask a lot of drivers. Okay, so he will take that penalty in about 2 turns. Excuse me, 3 turns. Okay, so we got Celtic Flyer with the fastest lap at 150, which is fast indeed for these conditions. Normally you'll pull probably a 130 to 135 on a dry day. Alright, so Celtic Flyer safely out front, followed by Craig, and then Newbro. Looks like Sammy's got himself a little bit more of a gap than he had before. Might have bobbled it a little bit. Close behind him we've got Ivan. Looks like King Racer has got himself a little bit of space now. Past Markey, he's got Judicial stuck in between. Lovely little Mustang sandwich. With a Ferrari in the middle. I guess you'd call that an Italian. Alright, Markey's going to make a play on Judicial. Here we go. Looks like he's got the jump on him. Picked up a nice toe from him. And takes advantage of that. Cuts the corner. Let's see. Can he? Yeah, he's giving a little tap. No. A little too hard on the gas. And he recovers, but not before Judicial pulls away from him. Meanwhile, after all that hand fighting, it looks like King Racer's built up a nice gap back to Judicial. Bella's got himself a penalty. He's still trying to pick up Marky B after that little mishap. Marky's going to give him a race. He's not going to want a guy with a half-second penalty to get too far ahead of him. Good side-by-side action going into this rather difficult corner. And both of them get away neatly. With Bella charging. And his penalty is going to force him back. Let's see what's going on up front, shall we? Craig has taken the lead, Celtic Flyer. Dubrow very close to the two cars. No doubt picking up a very good slipstream. Those two cars will punch a nice big hole in the air for him. Oh, and he goes wide. And that's going to put him back on the hind foot a little bit. But that little battle separated Celtic Flyer from Craig just a little bit more. So we've got a somewhat wider gap. A little more comfort for Craig in the front. Meanwhile, back where Sammy's positioned, we've got Sammy, Judicial, and King Racer. We have Marky B out there. Looks like Bella's still giving him trouble. We have Justin. Hello, Jenna. Being chased down by Spiffy. In turn, being chased down by Falcon. And boy, it is wet here today. This is what the PD folks like to call R7. This is torrential rain. And it is difficult. Even if you're used to driving in the rain, this is not pleasant. Oh, it's fun to watch. But it is not fun to drive in. Unless you're a masochist, then it's wonderful. Well, Spiffy gets it wrong. And Falcon gets it wrong. Maybe he was watching Spiffy too closely. And it looks like Falcon got him a little penalty for all that trouble. Spiffy's got him a half second. So everybody got wronged in that corner. So Falcon and Spiffy are going to have to slow down. It's going to give Firewoodman a nice little opening. Let's see if he can take advantage. I guess half second wasn't enough. It looks like he's going to get one of his own there. Apparently they're given a pass for anything you do that involves rain slippage. He managed to get through that without a penalty somehow. Looks like he'll do this one too. Alright, back to the front. Craig in the lead. Followed by Celtic Flyer, not so closely anymore. He's getting a little bit out of shape there when he gets into the marbles. That'll happen. Gr4 is close on his heels. Let's see how he can take this turn. Normally these curbs are things you want to avoid. They tend to attract a whole lot more water than the main part of the track. It gives it a nice light application of the brakes. You don't want to go too hard on the brakes in these conditions. Alright, Celtic goes out a little bit slidey, but he holds it together. He gets a good exit. That's going to be a tough one for Gr4. Let's see what King Racer's up to. He's taking that corner slow. Making sure he gets through there without any mishaps. Followed closely by Judicial. Not too closely. About 3/4 of a second. Bella is still after Markey. For some reason, he is unable to catch this guy. Oh, there's one reason right there. It gets a little slippy in turn one. You've got to be very careful how you approach that one. Because normally you go out very wide, brake very hard, and then cut in equally hard. But in the rain, it's a completely different picture. You don't have the same braking points. You don't have the same application of brake pressure. You certainly don't want to apply a lot of throttle when you're coming out of a turn. Especially when you're in something like this, when you're in a big, heavy front-wheel drive, or excuse me, front-engine rear-wheel drive car, an FR car. They will get very tail happy if you push them too hard or hit the brakes too hard. Meanwhile, the battle for 4th position, we have Sammy Judicial and King Racer. A nice little fight for 4th. As they come around the final turn, looks like they all get through cleanly. And now it's a drag race. Let's see who can take advantage of the toe. Oh, Judicial in that Ferrari is getting all kinds of slippery. Sammy and the GTRs aren't having a whole lot more fun. Ooh, Sammy gets a little bit of a wiggle going there, but that didn't keep him from getting to the inside. Trying to gain position on Judicial, and he manages to do it. A nice pass by Sammy. Clean. Didn't appear to be a whole lot of bumping going on, so fair play. Judicial in that Ferrari now is taking advantage of the slipstream. Had to take that corner a little bit wide. Still in the game. Oh, King Racer makes a nice move on Sammy. Side by side we go. Let's see if he's going to try to get brave here. No, thinks better of it. Figures it's not a great spot. With only 9 laps into the race. Judicial gets into the gravel. So with dirty tires, he's going to have to be very careful around this next corner. And takes it all right. Judicial does get a little bit wide. I'll look a little bit slippery. Manages to get through. King Racer gets through nicely. Oh, looks like Judicial might have got a little bit wide there. Let's see if the track is going to be forgiving. Nope, not this time. Sorry, Judicial. Just went a little wide. So it does appear Bella has finally got past Markey. There's Markey B all alone now. Justin all alone. Oh, Spiffy's in the pit. Looks like he has been the first to run out of fuel. Well, tough break. Let's see how that works out. It appears we've lost somebody. Huh. Looks like we've lost Ivan. Sorry, Ivan. Hate to see you go. Sometimes that'll happen. You don't see too much rage quitting in Multi-21. That's deeply frowned upon. So, knowing Ivan and the type of racer he is, he probably had an equipment malfunction or an internet issue. He's not ever one to rage quit. Oh, Dubro gets over the white line. Let's see if it costs him. Apparently not. Kind of odd enforcement of the rules today. Usually that'll get you a penalty every time. Kind of a contradiction in terms. Well, here we go. Libro is going to give him a little bit of a push. And we have side by side coming down the second straightaway. Like Dubro is going to have the advantage here. If he can make this tight turn, that's a pretty big if in this spot. They're going to get close. There'll be a little bit of argy-bargy going on there, a little bit of a tussle. And Celtic Flyer gets the better of it. He wins that little battle. So good racing up front. Spiffy's all by his little old self back there, sliding away. That miserable grandpa car of his. So, gotta go pick up some milk. Mama needs her laxatives. Oh, not too fast around this corner. Oh. All right, let's see what Falcon's doing then. Falcon's in pits. King Racer's in pits, just coming out. Our Woodman's by himself. Looks like we got a lot of separation here, boys and girls. I'm gonna move up to the front so there's just a little bit more action. Ah, we found it. Here's Judicial with Bella. Slip sliding away. All right, let's see what's going on back here with Craig. See if I can get a good shot over the top of his car. Here we go. All right, looks like they're going to make it a four-way race for third place if they can keep this pace up. That's some good numbers. 150s, that's not bad for these conditions on this track. Up front with Celtic Flyer and Nubro, you've got 150s, 151s. That seems to be the class of the track. Nubro, of course, with a 149. Aced a lap. And meanwhile, Sammy's in the pit, Bella's in the pits. Judicial decides to stay out. I think his wets are looking pretty good. His fuel, looks like it'll be enough if he can go into fuel saving mode. Let's see if he Yes, he's shifting early, so he is definitely trying to save a little fuel and see if he can make this lap. This will be interesting. Oh, look at this. Craig is out of the pits, and he is gunning for that Ferrari. Here we go in that tight second turn. Judicial gets it a little bit wide with those older tires. Plus, he's trying to save fuel. He's probably in a higher gear. Might make it a little bit tough to keep him going on the outside. So let's see if he goes defensive here, if he decides to stay to the outside. Nope, he's going defensive for sure. He's going to try to take this very close. Gets into the grass a little. Doesn't go wide. Nicely done for now. Oh, Craig's trying to get over on the side of him there. Playing a little bit of a mind game. Trying to get him domed up. So he can get inside of his head a little bit. Here we go. Tries the dummy. Judicial's not biting. But Craig just seems to be in the faster car right now. He's just right alongside of him. Oh, Judicial cuts him a little close. Gives him some room, but you had to back off or else it was going to be mayhem. So, well done, Craig. Ah, Judicial's in the pits. Okay. So Craig's going to have first place all by himself. Let's see what we got going on in the back. Looks like Sammy and Bella are at it. Now these two guys are fast. So the race for 5th and 6th ought to be good. Well, except for Bella got into a little bit of trouble there. We had ourselves a race there, buddy. What happened? All right, so, oh, Spiffy and JJ are having a little bit of a slugfest. Let's see if the boys are behaving back there. Falcon and Fire Woodman are going at it too. I said it last week. There's always a race somewhere on this track. You got Multi-21 at it. All right. Falcon and Fire Woodman are in a heated battle for 11th position. Former Group 2 champion. Oh, JJ's got him a 2.5 seconds. What did you do? Oh, they might nick him for that too. Let's see. 2.5 seconds. That's no joke. That's a pretty stiff penalty. 2 seconds. Yeah, they got into that corner cut as well. Actually, for going wide on that turn. If you get out onto that sausage curve, it can get you. All right, Spiffy gets around that corner cleanly enough. Looks like something going on with those rears. Seems to be going awfully slow around the corners. It's like he's not able to keep that rear end in check. Now let's see if anything happens here. This is a good place to see a car spin. His tires are going bad. Now he plays it real safe. So at least if not another day, at least another lap. Meanwhile, Fire Woodman and Falcon have got past Justin, and Falcon is queuing up for 10th position. Oh, couldn't get around. Just couldn't get the speed out of that corner. He's picking it up now. He's in the slipstream. Moving on to the front straight. If he can get this corner cut, he might just be able to slingshot his way out. Could have picked up a penalty there. Let's see. And it looks like Falcon's safe. All right, to turn 1. Falcon doesn't cut it too closely, stays off that sausage. Doesn't want to bounce over that sleeping policeman. That one is bad enough, but it's not the worst on the track. I think the worst sleeping policeman on the track is lying down on the second big turn. The one coming up. If you cut this one too close, it'll definitely bounce your car. They both get through just fine. Justin's picked up another half second. Hard to keep that car on the track, and Justin's driving on the sticks. So when you're on a controller, it can be pretty demanding on a wet track, to say the least. So we're back to the front with Craig. Lots of separation between first, second, and third. Huge gaps. With Judicial, probably 30 seconds or more behind third position. Did a great job keeping that Ferrari on a wet track. And so is Sammy, but that GTR doesn't love the rain. Sammy's got a little bit of slipstream. Both of them make, oh, Judicial made a great exit. Sammy seemed to start to, but it looks like he got a little bit too hard on the throttle. He took his rear end out a little bit. It's possible Judicial must have spun his rears because Sammy caught right up to him. It's easy to have happen. Coming into the penultimate turn. Sammy's getting a little wiggly. Judicial gets through the last corner just fine, very neatly. So does Sammy. Looks like Judicial gets the better exit. Falcon and Firewood Man are still having at it. Spiffing the grocery getters all by himself. And Firewood Man's picked up a penalty. Let's see if this works out for Falcon. He's going to have to serve it around this turn. So he gets through Schlossgold. I think Falcon's going to be very eager to get on the gas. He's got to be careful not to get too hard on it. That mid-engine rear-wheel drive car will still kick that rear end out on you. not be careful enough. Right. Rint. Way off the track. Firewoodman's going to pick up another penalty. Might even pick one up there. Oh, lordy. Could be looking at a full second. This Falcon wasn't able to take advantage of that last one. Let's see if he can make this one stick. Well, it looks like he was forgiven for that second cross of the white line. The Falcon wants every bit of that. Meanwhile, Sammy and Judicial are still having a battle for fourth. So, the Red Bull Ring, one of the more strictly defined tracks around the Grand Prix world. Very easy place to pick up a penalty. This track has been around since 1969 in one form or another. Goes back all the way to 1969 when it was the Austrian ring, or Österreich ring, if I may be allowed to mispronounce German. And it was the Austria ring from 1969 to 1995. Kind of fell out of favor with the Formula One crowd for a long time. It was briefly called the A1 ring for 7 or 8 seasons. And finally, Red Bull, people who give you wings, bought the track, transformed it, and now it's one of the premier Formula One circuits. Often hosting 2 races a year. And quite often wonderful races. Very, very competitive. Lots and lots of tight corners, lots and lots of fast straights. So you get a very nice combination of speed and finesse. Looks like Falcon and Firewoodman are still having at it for 10th place. Oh, Sammy gets it wrong. Oh, too bad. We had a real battle going there. And Sammy just could not get that last corner in. And, it's like the noble turn, he lost it. We've got Bella on King Racer's tail. King Racer on down to Schloss Gold. By Judicial and Sammy. Bella just keeps narrowing the gap, little by little. Very fast out of the turns. Here we go. He's getting up on his right quarter. Oh no, he does it again in the same spot he did on lap 1. Gets into that pool, gets on the gas, and just sends that rear end into a wild tail flap like a freshly landed trout. All right, Falcon, let's see what you got here for with firewood, man. It's like he is able to keep you at bay pretty neatly. All right. Yeah, Craig is well in front. Just past Justin. Just lapped him. Justin kindly and wisely moves over, lets him pass. Nebro's seeing the blue flags for back marker up ahead. And he still holds the fastest lap. Since then, he's put in a few 151s, a 152, but a couple of 150s. So he's been fairly consistent. You look at Craig's laps, pretty much the same. You're really not going to see too many of these Gr4 cars. They're able to sustain really quality lap times in this condition. With this much torrential rain, anything can happen. It's very easy to get it wrong. Celtic Flyer's having his own troubles getting through. Nicky Lauda. JJ's having a bit of a struggle getting through the Nicky Lauda curve as well. And Falcon has picked up a penalty of his own. That'll give Firewoodman a bit more breathing space. Skippy all out there by himself. Firewoodman out there by himself as well. Falcon by himself and forced to take a penalty, which should give Justin a little bit of a chance. Let's see if he can make something happen here. He's still trying to get up into position. Can just be miserable trying to get through some of these wetter spots on the track, particularly if you, like you suggested, if you see them getting onto the curbs a little bit. The water likes to collect there on that paint. Very slick. There's nothing drying the track off in those spots. There are no wheels going over, no tires going over them to disperse the water. Let's follow Bell around for a while. You can almost always be assured of an exciting bit of racing by this young fella. Racing for the United Kingdom, as one or two other fellows in this group might be doing. It's just these two fighting for sixth at the moment. Judicial has got himself pretty decent gap between fourth and fifth. Probably 2 seconds. laps 3. Here comes King Racer. Bella apparently had a little bit of a mishap here. He's about to have another. Oh, and you can tell King Racer is feeling pretty bad about that. Holding his speed, giving Bella a chance to retake his position. Quality work, gentlemen. Quality work. That's just what you can expect when you drive for Multi-21. Where respect is the name of the game. And don't be fooled. Just because these people drive with respect doesn't mean they're not here to win. They're absolutely here to drive the fastest race they can drive. They're definitely fighting for position. It doesn't matter if it's first or if it's 12th. Everyone is trying to gain a position. Everyone's trying to run the best race they can run. They're not going to do it dirty. And that is the most important factor in what sets apart Multi-21 from so many other racing communities. So if you're a Gran Turismo driver or an ACC driver and you're tired of dirty lobbies, give us a look. And if you don't feel like driving, subscribe to our Twitch channel, Multi-21 Commentator. And be a subscriber. Alright, Bella's worked himself very cleanly into 6th position. Sammy's made up some time on Judicial. Despite the steering wheel a little bit through that penultimate turn. And this car definitely does not like abrupt steering inputs in the rain. The GTR is very touchy if you try to turn too hard in the wet, or if you try to give it too much throttle. Really, if you're too aggressive with any of your inputs, whether it be throttle, brake, or steering, it will bite you. It gets a little bit wide, having to slow down a little too much coming out of that corner. That gives Judicial a little bit more breathing room. Celtic Flyer onto the front straight. He's 2 to 3 seconds slower than his usual lap time, so clearly something went wrong. And Sammy's picked up a penalty, and that will give Judicial even more room. And you can see when the throttle was pulled for that penalty, you can see how that GTR wanted to wiggle. It doesn't even like you pulling off on the throttle too hard. Very, very touchy in the wet. It's a brilliant car in the dry, and if you can manage it well, it's a great car in the wet. But you really have to know the wet characteristics of this car, driving this car. Which Craig seems to have mastered today. just as I say that, he gets into a little wiggle. But for the most part, if you look at those lap numbers, it's very consistent, very clean, just beautiful driving. Same holds for Nubro. Who still, after 25 laps, holds the fastest lap. Just gently on the brake, gently on the throttle here, using downshifts to slow the car, and just light brake inputs. That seems to be the key to holding this car steady. And I learned that from our race leader, whose advice was to do that very same thing. Don't use the brakes so much. Certainly don't go hard on the brakes. Just downshift to slow into those corners. You'll see he goes right down to first gear and immediately on to second. Very carefully shifting a little bit sooner than he might otherwise. And you notice he's doing this all without traction control. I believe all of the other drivers are using TC. There you can see an example. Just a bit too much throttle. But holds it together. Gets through beautifully. I wonder if we're starting to see a little bit of tire wear. Craig seems to be sliding just a tad more. Oh, Craig's just put in the fastest lap on 25. Fantastic. Apparently, traction control is not something you needed for Craig. While Sammy and Judicial are still having at it. Justin's picked up a second. And Falcon has faded to the back. Looks like Spiffy just let Craig pass. Good show. Oh, we have a spinner. Where are we at? And it's Spiffy. Oh. Well, he let Craig by. Apparently afterwards he got all out of shape. Perhaps he was upset at having to give up his position. Who knows? Looks like those tires are smoking. Yeah, those tires are gone. He is done. Oops, I think you better get into the pits, Bubba. That is not looking good at all. Oh, I think he's going to have to get some new body work. Oh my goodness. Well, looks like we have a new back marker. No, he didn't. I guess he was unable to get in. Oh, that's not going to be a fun time. We may have to watch this. This could be the slowest lap in history. Oh, those tires are still smoking. I don't think that's vapor. Maybe water vapor, but man, I'm not convinced that's all water vapor. That looks terrible. That looks like a train wreck about to happen. Let's watch the fun. Oh dear. Brake lights galore. Just trying to keep it on any way possible. I don't know what those blue outlines are on the rear tires. If you look at the tires in the heads-up display, but that can't be anything good. And he does make it into the pit lane at last. Not a moment too soon. All right, that's enough of that poor boy. Mr. Newbro still looking terrific. Putting down solid laps. Craig looking terrificer. Put down 3 149s just to rub everybody's nose in it. And here he is on the final lap. Gets a little bit of a squiggle out of turn 1. The Lauda curve isn't the worst on the track. It's actually a pretty fast corner. But when you get it wrong, it can go very, very wrong. He's managed to do a great job of it in the rain. This corner here is a little bit more tricky because it's very tight. And it's deceptively tight. Because as you get through that tight corner, you run into another corner. You have to be very careful in the wet, especially not to spin tires. And just for fun, Craig puts in a 148.8. Oh, nice save, Craig. Look out. He got onto the grass a little bit. I think that was the worst mishap that we've seen from this young man. He's decided to go into Tokyo Drift mode on this final lap, knowing that he has a pretty big lead. I don't know if he's trying to set some sort of a record, but he's trying to set a record for the longest drift on the Red Bull ring. I think he may succeed. Beautiful. Just incredible car control from Craig. Nice flash of the lights as we cross the finish line. Congratulations to our winner, Craig. Followed a few seconds behind by Mr. Dubrow. We have Celtic Flyer coming around the last turn. He takes the checkered flag, gives us a nice little flash. Congratulations on your podium finish, Celtic Flyer. Now let's get on to the back here. Judicial is comfortably into 4th position. Oh, we've got another spinner, and it's Sammy this time. Looks like Sammy and Bella had a nice little race going. That Sammy got the worst of that. But that's going to spell trouble, it looks like, for 7 and 8. Yeah, Markey and King Racer found themselves in the middle of that little mess. Oh, it looks like Sammy got just ever so slightly bumped. Clearly not intentionally. When you're in conditions like this, that sort of thing's bound to happen. But Markey takes 2 seconds for something I know not. So that will put him behind King Racer and Sammy, and at least no better than 8. All right, so Markey, King Racer, and Sammy cross the line, 6, 7, and 8, and won't hold. Those numbers won't hold, and Markey indeed takes 8th position. Fire Woodman takes 9th, Justin 10th, Spiffy and Falcon bring up the tail end at 11 and 12. Well, terrific race, folks. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed driving in it. Don't forget, if you like to race sim racers, if you like GT7, if you like ACC, if you like doing it cleanly with nice people, come visit us at Multi-21. Have a great day.